Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the debut of the Sports Talk podcast with Alec Pecano. Today's show episode, we are going over my latest NFL mock draft as well as college basketball upset picks and NBA. And before I start, I know my YouTube name still says Alec Knows Sports. We'll be changing that tomorrow to the permanent name of the show, Sports Talk Podcast, and that's what it'll be going forward. No more changes after that. And I think I'm going to go back to the old way where I used to do the college basketball upset picks and NBA upset picks on the show. And the only thing that'll be separate from this is college football. College football will have its own show moving forward. So the last few college basketball, Monday will be the last college basketball show episode for this season. That will move over to the main playlist, the Sports Talk podcast, which I will be updating that name tomorrow. But let's get to the show. Let's get into it. Here is picks 1 through 15 for the NFL mock draft. So at number 1, I think it's clearly stating the obvious here that the Bears are going to go quarterback unless they trade the pick, which I don't see them doing. I will be doing another mock draft. Moving forward, I will be doing mock drafts every Thursday again. One Thursday it'll be with trades, the next one it won't be trades. But in this case, the Bears will take Caleb Williams at number 1. The Commanders at 2 take Drake May. At 3, the Patriots. They don't get their quarterback, so they're going to go the next best available player on the board, and that would be Marvin Harrison Jr. Because I don't think, here's my explanation for the reasoning the why the Patriots will take Marvin Harrison number 3 and not Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels he's going to be a good NFL quarterback, but I don't think he's top 5. I don't think, in my opinion, that he goes top 5. He did win the Heisman last year, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily a top 5 pick. So it will be Marvin Harrison, the best wide receiver in this class. At number 4, the Cardinals take the first. The Cardinals take, and it will be Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. At number 5, the Chargers are going to go. This is the most logical pick for the Chargers here. I know people want to say offensive line, defensive line, corner, safety. It's too high for cornerback and safety. I don't think the corners go this high in the draft. So I have them taking I'm going to corner him. He's the next Kyle Pitts minus all the nonsense that Kyle Pitts had coming out of Florida, where everybody said he's a unicorn. Kyle Pitts is a really good tight end, and that is my NFL comparison for Brock Bowers. The Giants at number 6. They need quarterback, but I don't think they want Jaden Daniels, so the slide for Jaden Daniels continues. They take Malik Neighbors out of LSU. At number 7, the Titans They need offensive line, and I think they get their guy, Joe Alt. The Falcons at 8. This is where the slide for Jayden Daniels ends. I think the Falcons take Jayden. Here's my thing. This is if I think the Falcons take Jayden Daniels if they don't get Justin Fields. If they get Justin Fields, they're going to go somewhere else. But in this scenario, they don't get Justin Fields. Justin Fields ends up in maybe Pittsburgh. And Jayden Daniels ends up in Atlanta. At number 9, the Bears. Now that they got their offensive guy, they're going to take a defensive lineman here. And I don't think this is a reach. I think they're going to take Byron Murphy out of Texas. At number 10, the Jets need offensive line help. And I think they're going to take Talisi Fuwanga out of Oregon State. Athletic freak, Talisi Fuwanga is best offensive Dallas Turner still on the board. They've got their choice between Dallas Turner, Jazan Newton, Jared Verse, Liatu Latu. I think they go Dallas Turner here, and they get a young edge rusher because they don't know what the future holds for Danielle Hunter. So they take Dallas Turner. The Broncos at 12. I think they go. This is an interesting spot to be in for the Broncos. Is Russell Wilson going to come back, or does he end up getting traded? In this scenario, he stays, and I think they take a wide receiver here, and it's going to be Keon Coleman out of Florida State. The Raiders at 13. They are going to take the first quarterback off the board. Oh, wow. Okay, so they saw stuff at the Senior Bowl. Kool-Aid McKinstry is no longer the DB1 here. I think it's Terrion Arnold, and I think the Raiders take Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. At 14, the Saints. They are going to take defensive lineman Jazan Newton out of Illinois. They need a young, athletic defensive lineman to pair with Carl Granderson. Cam Jordan is not getting any younger. Let's put it out there. Cam Jordan is not getting any younger, and I think that Jazan Newton would be the perfect pick here for the Saints. And at 15, the Colts. They're going to take wide receiver Rome Odunze out of Washington. They might lose Michael Pittman in free agency. And I trust Josh Downs. The one receiver I don't trust is Alec Pierce. And now, here are my college basketball upset picks for today. My first upset pick is SMU plus 5.5 to upset Florida Atlantic. Now, here's my reasoning behind this. If you saw Sunday, FAU got upset by South Florida. Does that happen again tonight? I don't think so, but I'm willing to take the SMU plus 5 here. plus 5.5 to pull the upset over Florida Atlantic. My second college basketball upset is Ohio State plus 3.5 to upset Minnesota. Now, this is another game. If you watch this game on Sunday, Ohio State versus Purdue on Sunday, Ohio State looked like they had more life with an interim head coach than they did with Chris Holtmann. And I see promising things. Yes, I would really appreciate a shout out. Thanks. Let's see here. Where was it? Oh, back to Ohio State. So they looked like they had more life with Jake Diebler as the interim head coach than they did with Holtmann as the head coach. No problem. Thank you for giving me a shout out. I really appreciate it. They looked like they actually wanted to play instead of not wanting to play at all and looking punchless like they did against Wisconsin in like they have basically the whole season. Upset number 3. Elon plus 7.5 to upset Northeastern. Now, I really haven't chosen Northeast Elon a lot this year, but I see potential for an upset here. Both these teams have losing records, so somebody's got to get a win here. In my hunch, my theory is it's going to be Elon. I feel like Elon is going to be the one to get the win. Upset number 4, Arizona State plus 2.5 to upset Washington. This is a Pac-12 game, and we know the mantra here. Pac-12 after dark, weird things happen. Just look at, for example, Pac-12 after dark football. A lot of weird things happen there, but it's the same way with basketball, especially this year. I like the plus 2.5 here for Arizona State, and I think they can pull the upset. It's another Arizona school. North this is another upset I really like is Northern Arizona plus. I have picked Northern Arizona a few times this year, and sometimes it works. We went 2-4 in our upset picks for college basketball, which we didn't start out the week too hot, but I think we're going to turn it around tonight with these upset picks. I really my sixth and final upset is California Santa Barbara plus 11 to upset Long Beach State. Now, this is a late game. I think this is either 8 or 9 o'clock at night when most people are asleep. And I think California, UC Santa Barbara, can pull off this upset. And my free play of the night tonight in college basketball is the point total in the Arizona-Washington State game. Over 150 points. And now, here we go to the second half of the mock draft. In this, the Seahawks, I think they get their franchise quarterback. People are going to say J.J. McCarthy. But let me say this. I don't think JJ, I know it says he's projected to go 24th. I don't think JJ McCarthy is a first round pick. And in my personal opinion, I don't think McCarthy is a first round pick. I think the Seahawks go the Washington route and they take Michael Penix Jr. as their quarterback, as their first round pick here. Jaguars at 17. What do they need? I think they're going to take. They got their choice at receiver with Troy Franklin and Brian Thomas, but they need offensive line. They need to protect Trevor Lawrence, and I think they're going to take J.C. Latham out of Alabama. What was the one issue Jacksonville had last year? Protecting Trevor Lawrence. And I think if they can get an offensive lineman, whether it be the draft or free agency, I think J.C. Latham, if he's on the board here at 17, you take him. At 18, this is where my next wide receiver is going to go off the board. And it is not who you think. It is going to be Brian Thomas Jr. I was going to give the Bengals Troy Franklin, but it sounds like T. Higgins is coming back, but they're going to lose Tyler Boyd. I think Brian Thomas would be the perfect pick to put in the slot with Higgins and Chase on the outside. At number 19, the Rams are going to take offensive lineman Tyler Guyton out of. Actually, no. Correction. They're going to take CB number 3, and that would be CB2 for me, but CB3 for probably most people. Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. They need some youth on that defense, in that secondary. The Steelers at number 20 are going to take, yes, they do need offensive line. And I think they are going to take offensive lineman Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. If Kenny Pickett is their quarterback next year, I know they're bringing in competition, but if Kenny Pickett wins the job, they need to have a upgraded, serviceable offensive line that can help them in the future get to where they want to be. So Tyler Guyton is the pick. The Dolphins at 21. Now, I could mock the Dolphins and offensive lineman here. Do they really need it? I would say yes, but it's not a desperate need. I think the thing they need more is another guy off the edge. And Laiatu Latu has fallen outside the top 20, which to me sounds a little bit crazy because I think in real life he's going to go in the top 15. But here in this mock draft, he falls into the Dolphins' lap at 21, and I think they take him at number 21. The Eagles at 22. What are the Eagles best known for? They're best known for making picks for the future. And you got Fletcher Cox, you got Brandon Graham on defense that are not getting any younger. And I don't think this is a reach. I think they take edge rusher Braylon Trice. Yes, I know they have Josh Sweat, but they need, and Hassan Reddick might be getting cut, might be getting traded. We don't know. But I think they take actually, scratch the pick I said, Braylon Trice. I think they take Jared Verse. The Texans at 23. They're going to take, I think they take Kool-Aid McKinstry. They need DB help. They do have, I do like Derek Stingley Jr., but they need somebody on the other side, opposite Derek Stingley Jr. And I think that's Kool-Aid McKinstry. I don't know how he's fallen this far, but Kool-Aid McKinstry will be taken at 24. The Cowboys are going to take our first interior offensive lineman, and it will be it'll be Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. Or will it? No. Scratch that. I'm going Amarius Mims out of Georgia. And here's my reasoning. They've got Tyron Smith, who's at one of their tackles right now. He could either retire or he could leave in free agency. And they would have a hole at tackle. Now, they could easily slide Tyler Smith over to tackle and then put whoever they draft, if it's an offensive lineman, put him at guard. And in this case, I think in this world, Tyron Smith, let's say he does either retire or he goes somewhere else. I think they take Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Packers at 25. This is where another offensive lineman is going to come off the board. And it'll be Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. The Packers need offensive line help desperately. Jordan Love did get sacked, but he didn't get a sack as much as Sam Howell did. But I still think the Packers need an offensive lineman, and it's going to be Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. The Buccaneers at 26. Now, I think Mike Evans is leaving a free agency, and I think the Buccaneers, it's going to be Godwin, Palmer. You need another outside receiver, and I absolutely like the pick of Troy Franklin here at 26 for the Buccaneers. At 27, the Cardinals, they are going to take defensive back Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. Yes, Mitchell is a first-round pick, and I think he will go at 27 to the Cardinals. The Bills at 28. There's really only, they're saying Ladd McConkey could be a, I'm going a little bit down the board here for wide receiver. I think the Bills take Xavier Legette out of South Carolina. And I tell you why. They need wide receiver, and Gabe Davis is going to leave, and we don't know what's going on with Stephon Diggs. Is Diggs going to stay in Buffalo, or is he going somewhere else and going to get traded? At 29, the Lions are going to take I think they take defensive back Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia. I really like this pick. They do need help in the secondary, and I think Kamari Lassiter is that. The Ravens. Is there any other wide receivers that could go in the first round? Oh, yes. I think the Ravens are going to take wide receiver Xavier Worthy out of Texas. They need another wide receiver to pair with their first-round pick from last year, Zay Flowers. And I think Xavier Worthy is a perfect match. The 49ers at 31 take offensive lineman Troy Fautanu from Washington. They need to get Trent Williams replacement because Trent Williams isn't getting any younger. And the Chiefs at 32. They are going to take a wide receiver, and I think it's A.D. Mitchell out of Texas. And I tell you why. Rashee Rice is a really good receiver, but if they can't get Mike Evans in free agency, I think they draft A.D. Mitchell. And here are my NBA upset picks for tonight. My first upset is my third upset of the night is the New York Knicks +1 to upset the Philadelphia 76ers. The New York Knicks +1 to upset the 76ers. This is my third upset of the night. I'm going 3-1. And then I'll give you my free play of the night. So the reason I like this upset for the Knicks is because the Sixers don't have Embiid. If the Sixers had Embiid, I would have stayed away from this game because I would think the Sixers would win. But the Sixers don't have Joel Embiid, and I think the Knicks can somehow pull this out and win. My second upset of the night is the Phoenix Suns +2.5 to upset the Dallas Mavericks. Again, for all these teams, this is their first game out of the All-Star break. And I really like this upset for the Suns. Even though we don't know if we think Bradley Beal is going to play, even if he doesn't play, I still like the Suns here. And my upset that I think is the most likely to happen is the Brooklyn Nets +2 to upset the Toronto Raptors. I really like this upset for one reason. One of these teams has to win this game, and I think it's going to be Brooklyn. And in my free play of the night for the NBA is the Orlando Magic on the money line. It was +222. It might have went up, but I like the money line for the Magic. And to all the Sports Talk podcast family and friends memberships, they start at 99 cents a month, but if you want the full, that would be the MVP package, and that is $14.99 a month. And I highly recommend purchasing a membership. You get great perks with it, and you get loyalty badges for every month you're a member, as well as merch. There is merch as well. And I have been tagging in the last couple of videos my Patreon and Discord in the comments down in the description down below. And I will be doing that again after this video is over. Please join the Discord. That is completely free. And so is the Patreon. So is the Patreon. The Patreon is completely free too, unless you want the paid version of the Patreon, which is only $4 a month, and you get everything over there. College basketball upsets, college football upsets, my way too early predictions for college football, just like you get over here on YouTube. But that does it for the Sports Talk podcast today. I will see you back here tonight at 10 o'clock for another episode of the Sports Talk podcast. Have a great rest of your morning. See y'all at 10 o'clock tonight.